enough of that noise. Time for the B-roll, boys.
A brilliant scientist, his best friend, the woman he loves, and her fiery-tempered kid brother. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to B-Roll Boys. We're here to talk about 2015's Fantastic Four, directed by Joshua Trank.
Josh man.
Yeah, the beloved
Joshua Dank.
of Chronicle fame. Who's here with me? Who's here? Call out.
Wes is here.
Justin's here.
And we have a very special guest today, Jason.
Weird. Hi, I'm Jason.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you. Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's your deal?
What does Jason do? Jason's a nerd like the rest of us nerds in here.
No.
I feel actually very comfortable with all the art and books around me. Also working musician, doing the YouTube, Twitch thing like the rest of us. So
You want to plug your channel?
yeah, I guess we should. Lucy_she's. We do gaming and stuff like that. We're part of Sirs and Madams. Actually, I'm gonna try to holler at them and see if we can do like a little fucking
crossover.
Yeah, it's like
shit.
Yeah, like
You heard it here
Avengers and
first.
X-Men shit.
Oh my god.
But Sirs and Madam Entertainment, we're on Twitter. We do YouTube and shit like that. So if y'all like watching anime stupid shit, that's what we do. So
Cool.
Hey, we're right around the same corner.
The B-roll extended
But thanks for having me
universe.
because I was very excited for this moment of brilliant cinema making.
Yeah.
We
So
found out it was Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Everything changed.
Past a kidney
if
stone.
I'm not mistaken, I'm the only person here that has already seen this movie. Is that right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Virgin Eyes, dog. You took me.
I actively avoided it.
That was a good call. I saw this movie in theaters when it premiered.
Why?
Well, because it was free.
Question.
Oh,
true.
Free? Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, this was on my way out of working at the movie theater. I think it might have been the last movie that I saw for free.
What
And,
a send-off.
Yeah, I mean that's appropriate for working at the theater, but yeah, I mean even having not paid any money for it, I still felt ripped off.
As you should.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess let's get into the background because this movie, you got to set the stage for it.
It has a lore.
It does.
A
Yeah.
storied lore.
It's good at setting the stage because it did it for an hour and a half.
That's right, and it's an hour and 39 minutes, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right. So let me tell you guys a little story about an email that Josh Trank sent out to the crew that worked on this film. He sent out an email that was like, congratulating everyone and, like hyping them up and like, oh, you did such a good job. And he claimed that they had made the best comic book movie in years. One cast member replied with, I don't think so. It's speculated that that was Miles Teller that said that because apparently he and him had beef. I'll get to that later.
Ooh, juicy.
In a quickly deleted tweet posted on August 6th, 2015 by Josh Trank.
You got timestamps.
Keep in mind,
Fear
it's
of our
important.
Lord.
It's important.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the movie came out August 7th. This tweet was the day before the movie came out.
This was cocked and loaded.
The tweet said, "A year ago, I had a fantastic version of this." And it would have received great reviews. You'll probably never see it. That's reality though.
Oh man.
The
Nothing
tweet was
like a good self-burn.
Yeah, the tweet was taken down, of course. But the damage was done. This movie had a 69% drop off in the box office the next weekend. Yeah. That's the sex number in case you didn't know.
Wait,
So
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that imply?
I don't know, I'm afraid to ask.
I don't know how sex works. I just watched Fantastic Four.
I just go to Reddit. They'll teach you all kinds of bad, terrible things. Shout out to them, I guess. Not trying to segue in that, but you mentioned that this movie came out back in 2015. I'm looking to my right and I see a poster. I am going to talk about this because Guardians of the Galaxy came out less than a year and a couple days. Actually, you said August 7th. Look at that.
Yep.
13 days, whatever.
Was it
Anyways,
Nice
fucking. This movie did great. It was a Marvel movie. Everybody's riding high on something like this. You have a team. Oh man.
The market was not the problem.
This is when Fox controlled everything still, right? Including
Yes.
like their X-Men
Yes.
movies and shit like that.
If anything, this might be what like really threw them under. Well, that's not true. That was probably more like X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Are we
but
gonna get a Snyder cut?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't
all right.
think it deserves it. But all right,
I
so
thought that was funny.
let's talk about the
I hated
director
that one.
on set. So apparently Josh Trank was just a real dick on set. I mean, there are allegations that he showed up, shit faced a lot of the time. And
Hell yeah.
My man.
What's wrong with that?
Some
like
people
it.
said
That's like most people in film.
Like
some
Marlon
crew
Brando.
members said that he was withdrawn and cut off from everyone. Apparently,
He was Doom.
That was good.
Sorry,
that was good.
go
Yeah.
apparently, he had a tent around his monitor to hide his work from other people.
What?
He was afraid of peer review. What was it?
He had like his own cubicle on set.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like a porta potty
But
with
made
an
out of- but
HD
made out of
monitor.
just like
in
a
it.
black tarp.
It was a Baxter
During
cubicle.
takes, he would be telling cast members when to blink and when to breathe, according to one person. He kept pushing them
That's
to
like
make
David
the performance
Fincher
as
shit.
flat as possible.
The movie was a lot like Twilight, where it was all just stare, stare, scene. All right, that's what I caught for majority of the movie. Anyways,
This movie stars Miles Teller as Reed Richards. The rest of the cast is Kate Mara as Sue. Johnny Storm is
Killmonger.
Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan.
that's his name, Michael B. Jordan. Thank you. And Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm. And apparently the studio did not want Miles Teller to get the role, but
That's weird.
Josh Trank fought for him to get the role, only for the two of them to almost get into a fist fight on set.
Man, who the hell is going to war for Miles Teller?
I mean, apparently these guys were like, had like their chests almost touching, just being like, throw the first punch, bro. Do it, bro. And nothing ever happened because I'm sure that would have been all over TMZ.
Bridges
they
were
were
burned over Fantastic Four.
They were trying to bait each other into assault.
Did Whiplash come out after? Whiplash came out after this movie.
That was before. It was 2014.
Okay.
That was Metallica 1983.
Yeah, he became a
fuck
drummer. He became a
All right.
drummer. So
He's Lars
I
Ulrich's
like the
son.
direction he went. He went from quantum scientist to drummer. It was a good move.
That's true.
I say that biased as a drummer.
So Kate Mara, on the other hand, Josh Trank did not want Kate Mara to play Sue. He actually wanted a black actress to play the role, but the studio said that they wanted a star to play the role. So make of that what you will.
That's Hollywood talk
but
for
yeah,
white
so-
person.
How about
Josh
the girl
Trank-
that dropped out of House of Cards? That's a star.
I don't know.
She was in Shooter.
We
Hell
call it
yeah.
Kate Mara wasn't that? Yeah.
All right, now we got a star.
So Josh Trank didn't want Kate Mara to play the role, and as a result, he was apparently difficult to her on set and bullied her during filming. In what ways, we do not know. That's all that the allegations say, but apparently he was a real dick to her.
Are we going that classic Kubrick route where he just tortured his actresses and actors, deprived them of sleep and everything, or just I don't know.
Well,
He just like dropped spiders into her mouth when she wasn't looking.
he's like directing the crew like when to breathe during takes, and he's like, hold that breath. And he like throws a spider into her mouth.
It's method acting.
So yeah, if you didn't know, Michael B. Jordan is black. I know.
What?
So
Okay, yeah, I see
yeah,
where you're
I
going
know.
with this.
Weird.
Subtle nod to the fact
Yeah,
that you'll
yeah.
find in a movie details subreddit. So yeah, Michael B. Jordan is cast as Johnny Storm, who, if you don't know in the comics, is a white American teenager, and of course there was a big fuss by a vocal minority when Michael B. Jordan when it was announced that he was playing Johnny Storm. And obviously, who gives a shit? Like,
Who could fucking care?
it's not important to Johnny Storm's character that he's white. So it doesn't matter that the actor is not white. It doesn't change anything. So whatever. But people got upset about it anyway.
Oh yeah.
And Trank received, of course, death threats for the casting. And apparently he started sleeping with a gun on his nightstand.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, just kind of add a little sideway to that. People get butthurt like that about James Bond. As y'all know,
yeah.
there's been like 5 or so James Bonds, and they were talking about bringing a new one. Giving Daniel Craig time off. A lot of people have been talking about Idris Elba. That man's
I'd be super down for that.
handsome as shit.
I'd be super
Yeah,
down.
that would be
I'm
awesome.
not even gonna lie to this. I brought this up at a bar. I'm not gonna tell you with who or what, but straight up, I got side eyes because they're like, well, what's wrong with Daniel Craig? I'm like, nothing, but what's wrong with a
But he
black
can't play
guy
the role
being just
forever.
bad? Yeah. So, yeah, it still exists. We're
Oh,
5
yeah, of
years in the
course. There's
future
always-
from this movie, and it's still.
There's always going to be people. I just wanted to get out of the way and say that we don't give a shit. That,
Yeah.
that Michael
I
B.
always
Jordan is
have
playing
to.
the
I have to
character.
ask
Wasn't the
you,
changing
audience
factor of the
members.
movie.
What kind of fucking loser do you have to be to look at a character like this, Fantastic Four, which is already kind of bad source material, and be like, I need that character to be white. I need it to be
Listeners, you
exactly
can't
as
see, but
God
I'm giving
intended.
Justin
Who
finger
the
for talking
fuck
shit
can
about
give a
Fantastic
shit?
Four.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
No, man. Well, all right. I'll get into that. Okay, so so you might be asking yourself, why was Josh Trank being such a dick on set? Why was everybody having such a bad time? Apparently, he wanted to make, and of course you can see parts of this. He wanted to make a very realistic take on the Fantastic Four, amidst this era of Avengers and shit like that. And he wanted to make it realistic and like a Cronenberg body horror type thing. And the studio signed off on that, and then apparently backpedaled. And so he was not handling that well. I'd be upset too, of course, but damn,
It's actually a cool idea.
Yeah.
Well,
Imagine
that's
that, like
that's
a
the
Fantastic
thing.
Four, like rated R. If it was like The Fly.
See, that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Is like I think that in itself is not a bad idea because, I mean, look at Fantastic Four when it came out in the 60s. Comic books back then were oftentimes like that 60s kind of horror. Obviously it comes across as very different now because we're used to so much, different shit. But back then, like many comic books did have a horror element to them. And yeah, like I think you can do something with that. However, I don't think you're gonna, make Fantastic Four fans happy because Fantastic Four at its heart is about a group of people who are family to one another, being explorers. Just fucking doing science shit. And yeah, this wasn't
doing
that.
science. He was doing magic.
Pretty much, yeah. We'll get to that. Let's see. Yeah, so his original cut of the movie was 2 hours and 20 minutes. And the studio
What?
cut it down to 1 hour and 40 minutes.
What?
almost
You
an
mean it
hour
could have
over?
been longer?
Yep. They cut almost an
Wow.
hour out of this movie.
Oh, that could have been way fucking long.
And it's amazing because like almost nothing happens this whole movie.
It feels like each act is a scene, and that's it. It's so weird. The movie's in like 3 places, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a lot
true.
of reshoots, and I can tell that it's got the Suicide Squad thing where it just feels every piece feels
Yeah.
disjointed from the previous and next scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of piddles along
Yeah.
without much consistency of what's going on.
It feels like the same fucking set, and then like every so often they show you the Baxter Building, and then they show you Area 57. Oh yeah, it's completely different. Fuck no, get out of
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, they of course, like you said, ordered reshoots, and you can tell Kate Mara cut and dyed her hair in between that time, so she had to wear a wig for the reshoots, and yeah, it's pretty damn noticeable. Apparently, like you can also, if you look for it, you can see that Miles Teller's facial hair like just disappears at some parts. I didn't notice that, but apparently that's there.
Wait, he can grow facial hair? Okay, all right, noted.
Outside of that little
After a year
crust,
Stubble, I'll say.
yeah, outside of that little crustache he had after the year mark.
Yeah, that. And yeah, lastly, apparently the budget was cut by $30 million days before production started.
That's a lot of millions.
Yeah, so Josh Trank just got dicked over left and right on this movie, and he did not handle it professionally, of course. I understand why he was upset.
That's why he had
Yeah,
his little
most-
nerd cave.
Most guys do. Oh man, you were telling me there was another movie that was just like that. They were just talking about that. I read something on TV. I read something on an article, but yeah, a lot of movie directors go out that way. Shit, I'll come back to you. But there's same thing. Another movie where the guys didn't tell the crew that shit wasn't going on. They just dicked around at the director's camera, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not shooting today" or some shit like that. Like
Yeah,
it
happens.
It's happened a couple
sad.
times, and it's been with like other comic book movies too. I think.
All right, so with all that said, let's get into the movie.
Oh god,
It's finally
oh my
time.
god.
All right, so the movie starts with this kid who is
This 32-year-old kid.
well, that's the thing, right? Is this movie has 2 beginnings. Because it actually starts. You hear this voiceover of just this kid, and he's like, I want to be a baseball player when I grow up, like Eli Manning.
That was good.
What?
Yeah.
That was good.
I completely forgot about the
I
little
know, right?
kids,
And then,
honestly.
and then he's like,
I love
annual
hockey.
salary is between 10 and 20 million a year. Thank you. And then that's like his whole report, and he sits down. Okay. And then Reed Richards gets up there, and he's like 10 years old at this point in the movie. And he gets up, and this kid is just very badly, just reciting lines. He clearly like doesn't know what he's talking about, and so it's very not convincing. Like he just has this very blank look on his face the whole time.
Child actor syndrome.
Yeah, pretty much. And he starts explaining, like, I don't know. It seems like their assignment was to talk about what they wanted to do when they grow up. But Reed just starts explaining a science experiment, which isn't really the assignment. But then his teacher is like, "We're not talking about magic," and he's just like needlessly like dismissive of his project. I don't know. It's super weird.
I got a perfect example for you. Look up a music video by Twisted Sister called "I Want to Rock." Same thing. Baxter wants to be a scientist, and the teacher's like, "What? You can't be a scientist. What do you want?" Anyways,
You
I
just said that
wanna
you need.
rock, and then it goes to Fantastic Four.
They ripped off Twisted Sister?
Yeah, close.
Hell,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
It was the same principle and everything. It's like, you're not going to be a scientist. Fucking
We said you needed to look up a real job.
so
Yeah,
silly.
it's really fucking dumb.
I don't see any science here.
Yeah, and it was what? It was school in 2007 when that shit going on, or was that
2005.
was that the science fair?
That's Bush administration
I'm so confused,
education.
yeah.
Okay,
man.
yeah. So let's get into that. So Reed's like scavenging for parts to build a teleporter in the junkyard, and he meets the young Ben Grimm, and
That was cute.
sorry listeners, that's my dog. I'll try to cut that out.
The cutest.
What
That's all y'all need to know.
was I saying?
Ben Grimm.
Okay, so he's scavenging for parts, and he meets the young Ben Grimm, and he enlists him for help. I guess just carrying the part home, and then they're stuck with each other.
He was told, wasn't he the one that was checking him out during his school report too? Wasn't he looking at him? He's like, okay. I mean, he totally checked him out. He
Oh, you
sat
dig on
down, he's like,
multiverses?
knowledge check. He's straight up.
Nice one.
He looked that boy up and down. He's like, now they're the same age, so it's consensual. But he was just like, yeah, I like that.
Good,
I'll
you
take
had me-
that
You had me
science.
worried there.
I'll take that science. I mean, it just really did. Like,
All
there's-
right, and
the bromance.
I want to say this is like 5 minutes into the movie when
Yeah.
this happens, and I remember this was the point, just 5 minutes into the movie approximately, when I checked out and I had no hope for this movie.
Oh, the same as Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Well,
well,
still salty about that.
listen. So I mean, you see a bit of Ben Grimm's home life, and like he like argues with his brother a little bit, and he like calls him an idiot under his breath, and he's like, "What'd you say?" And then he walks up to him, and his older brother, who is like, like he looks like he's like 20 years old at least, just walks up to this 10-year-old little brother of his, and he says, "It's clobbering time," and then he decks this little kid in the face.
And the dad's like, quiet down, I'm watching the Jets.
I mean, pretty much. And that's the point in the movie where I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me with that?"
It wasn't pleasant.
if
'cause
you
he
guys-
said it in the comic.
If you guys don't know, "It's clobbering time" is the thing's catchphrase that he says. When he,
a reference.
that's what he says, and I was like, okay, I can, I'm not against the idea of doing a realistic take on this, but you don't need to make it gritty by like making his catchphrase a callback to him being in an abusive home. Jesus Christ.
That's how you make it
Yeah.
great.
That's really not necessary.
That's the grit.
The Ben Grit.
I don't know. When Bruce Wayne's parents were mowed down in the alleyway, the gunman didn't look at him and go, "I'm Batman," and then left. I mean,
was
it's
awesome.
the same. That's the same thing. Let's use PTSD as our catchphrases.
He's just like, man,
Make like a
that was
bat and
bad.
fuck off, man.
God.
Okay. So then the second start of the movie is at the science fair, like 10 years later.
Terrible.
And this is where Miles Teller and Jamie Bell and the rest of them come in to the movie. And this is 10 years later. And they, of course, look way older than, like seniors in high school.
Every single one of these actors are in their 30s.
Yeah. And what makes it worse is that they're presenting in a school science fair with middle schoolers. Like it's just like a bunch of like
He stole an
like 12-year-olds.
Yeah, the plane he stole from the kid next to him. That's his competition, man.
Yeah.
Richard's special needs.
I mean, he failed like 5 years.
So he's
to
making
stay.
like a fucking teleporter, and there's a baking soda volcano in the background.
exactly.
Like,
He literally teleported something in front of his teacher, and he's like, "This isn't magic. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
And
like
he ran away.
I don't know. It's super weird.
that
like,
kid made
like,
a cereal box for it. We're gonna go
I
give
didn't
him the
see
gold medal.
A+.
I didn't see a single other high schooler in that gymnasium for the science fair. Like all around him are just like 12-year-olds, and they're getting ready to present, and they're gonna like teleport a model car. They think to just some other random part of the planet.
Model plane, were you paying attention?
No. That's the thing. Is he asked Ben for the model car, and he's like,
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't have the
thing.
model
I
car.
wasn't. Oh,
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, I've seen.
Dude.
It's okay. I've seen this movie twice. So yeah, he doesn't have the model car, and he steals a model plane from the kid next to him. It's very convenient that he had that. And then they teleported, and then the same teacher from earlier in the movie when he gave his report is like, "You're disqualified. This isn't a magic competition," and he doesn't even like want to hear an explanation for what he did. Also, like when he powers up the teleporter, like the frequency, I guess, like breaks the
brown note.
backboard
Yeah,
for
it's the
the
brown
basketball
note.
court,
the pattern.
and the whole crowd just in a stock sound effect that you've surely heard many times before goes, "Oh!"
The same like crowd gasp you've heard a million times.
Yeah.
It's just so loud.
I saw the subtitle "scattered laughter." It was pretty accurate. It's pretty fucking
I
accurate.
think that was us through the whole movie.
That was rough.
That was pretty rough.
Laughing and uncontrollably shitting her pants. Unrelated. Wes.
And I don't know
And then
why
out of
the-
nowhere, the storms come in here. He's like, "Hey, we work for the government. We just walked into your school."
What are they doing there?
Yeah.
Hey, we're high-ranking government officials that technically don't exist. What's up?
Well, no. Here's the thing. They're there specifically looking for people to help build an interdimensional teleporter. Because I mean, at that point, Reed and Ben are under the impression that they're just teleporting this model car or plane to another part of the planet. And he informs them, "No, actually, sweetie, you're transporting it to another dimension."
He Karens them.
Yeah. And he came to this high school science fair specifically looking to recruit people to help with that. And the only thing he found was fucking Reed and Ben. Everywhere else is just like volcano baking soda experiments and shit like that. Like,
So
why was he there?
that makes you wonder how many schools had he been to before, or did he just get like astronomically lucky?
That means
And
he's
run into
looking.
Reed Richards.
Right away.
He's looking for cheap labor, my friend. If you're going to high school
that's true.
science fairs to like scalp talent,
Be great
Intern
exposure.
stuff.
you're not like
Interns.
you're not going to like colleges or actual research labs because those require money. Because this guy is a fucking crackpot. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, and that dad at the end of it too. That dad was totally like just irresponsible from day one. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up these children, and then fuck it, let's give them a top secret, possible world-ending project. Yeah, fuck it, they don't need any supervision.
At 17 years old.
Yeah, 17 looks like 30.
Let's say 17 going on 34, Kate Mara.
Yeah, so
Or however old
Franklin
she is.
Storm meets them with Sue, and they recruit them to join their government project to build the teleporter. And it's really unclear why they're recruited. And then Reed, I guess, lives at a different school now in New York, and he leaves Ben behind.
Well, I thought they put him up in the Baxter building. That's what I thought they did. It
yeah,
looks like
but
it looks
they leave
like
Ben behind.
yeah.
I don't know. And then the movie just forgets about Ben for 20 minutes. I sure forgot about
Because he's
him.
been with them since they were children, helping him develop or at least provide the parts and material and everything for this fucking teleporter. But then when they get there, like, oh, we don't need that guy. We already got a guy that does that. I mean,
Basically.
what the hell?
Well, he said he didn't need him, so Ben was all for it.
Yeah, well,
Like, man,
Ben's the blue collar guy. He's the
that's
blue collar of the Fantastic Four. He's like, yeah, I know my roots. I work
I
with
can
jump
relate.
cars.
That's why he's the
because I,
muscle.
too, don't wear pants.
Right. I relate to the people. I don't need pants.
we asked him to put pants on. We begged Harlan, but nope, here he is.
Nope. Yeah.
Harlan
fully
didn't have
nude.
pants on either.
Y'all
He was
don't
trying
know it
to
yet. Ben's
he was trying to
nude.
method act for this whole thing.
Out for the world to see.
Little
welcome.
Tic Tac wiener out.
All right, so
No complaints.
so Reed sees Sue in the library, and he starts trying to hit on her, and she's listening to music, right?
Terrible scene.
And this
this is atrocious.
all right. So this is where the movie plants its first seed.
Mhm.
She's listening to music, and they start talking about music, and Reed's like, "So is music like your thing?" Because nobody just listens to music just because.
Music's not her thing. She didn't even have AirPods. Grow up.
Where she didn't have Beats.
She was like, "I'm listening to Anal Cunt. What do you want?"
She didn't have over ears. So she wasn't a music person.
Right.
She's not an audiophile.
So she's listening to music, and she explains like she loves music because it's all about creating patterns and holding back and on a resolution that the listener anticipates.
What fucking ever, man.
Yeah, it's
Really likes Neutral Milk Hotel.
I was gonna say, yeah, we got to go with this. Like, she's really big into like indie, but like not indie to where you're not supposed to know about them. Like, if they do anything other than a 45, then it's not. It's
Hey, have
it's
you heard
not
of this
cool
small
enough.
band called Radiohead?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Radiohead, Swans, and Neutral Milk Hotel, and that is all that goes into the ears of Kate Mara. Absolutely.
She definitely channels her like Bella Swan when he's trying to talk to her. Like, I'll just time out right here. Fucking any lady in this planet that hears this will fucking 100% agree. When you're sitting there trying to do your own thing, work, study, whatever, you have earbuds on. That means stay the fuck away from me. Like, it's taken me how many years on this earth to realize that when women are doing that, they want you to back the fuck off and just let them work. So if you sit there, be like, hey, what are you listening to? What are you listening to? That's the get out creep, like international sign. And Reed just like, nope, doesn't matter.
Hey man, do you like monuments? I'm doing homework,
I'm just gonna
motherfucker.
awkwardly
God.
incriminate your time.
I'm listening to B-roll boys. Get out of here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
nice.
plug.
Nice.
All right, so then we meet Victor Von Doom, who
Oh,
funny story. Funny story about
story.
good old Doomy. Apparently,
Channeling his best school shooter impression.
while the movie was in
That was
production, his
good.
character was actually renamed to Victor Domashev, and comic book fans were like, "That's fucking dumb," and so they just like dubbed in some lines where they'd call him Doom, and yeah, it's pretty noticeable in some places.
well, Victor Von Doom is fucking stupid too. What do they want?
Exactly.
How dare you?
That is the dumbest fucking
awesome.
name.
How dare you?
Gee, I wonder if he's gonna become a supervillain. Shut up, Harley.
Yes, it's his destiny. All hope lies in Doom. Am I right, Jason?
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck you guys
Sorry, I
are
gotta
talking
side
about,
with
but
Doom,
I don't
man.
like it.
Talking about Jonathan Hickman's
But that-
Fantastic Four. Anyway,
It's the planet I live on most
Although I
times.
told you, but that was my conflict, man. I mean, Magneto could take him on. That's my only problem, man. Magneto, I don't know. I feel like Magneto
all right,
stole
we
us.
can't get into that. Anyway,
Yeah, that's right.
no, Dr.
Wrong,
Doom's fine,
wrong
fine.
away.
Wrong
Anyway,
universe. Wrong timeline.
So they changed his name to Doom. I guess thinking that would please the fans. No, because Victor Von Doom in this movie. Okay, let's talk about Doom in the comics. Take for example my lovely print that I have on the wall. That is him going toe to toe with literal God. He's literally fighting God on this cover of Marvel Secret Wars, number, what is it, 10? Yeah. Victor Von Doom uses a mix of technology and magic to just be the ultimate badass. He's the greatest villain in the Marvel universe. He's awesome. He deserves better than this. What is Victor Von Doom in this movie?
Answer.
He's a hacker. He's a blogger.
He's got his
He-
Twitch chat going in one of his monitors.
Yes.
He is the definition of an internet elitist. It is insane.
Yeah,
he
like,
produ-
he's always
Every
making-
person you've ever blocked
They
on
want-
Facebook. This is
That's who they want to be, though. That's the problem. That's who they want to be. They want to be all black, have that fucking, what is it? Davidoff fucking Axe body spray smell. Fucking, yeah.
You
Yeah,
you
like,
know
you
he's
meet him-
taken 3 Axe baths in the last
Yes.
week.
They
Yeah,
changed-
like Franklin recruits him from his room, and like he's like on his computers, and it's like totally dark in there, and yeah, he looks like he hasn't showered in days.
Nerds always have at least 3 monitors with just code flying on.
Hacker man.
It's just like he's not
That's what
doing
makes
it.
him a hacker, because you see just random screensavers with fucking numbers in it.
Can't even see the code anymore. So he's Notepad Plus, Toad.
He's got a music forum. No, he's got 2 monitors, and one monitor he's got a music forum that he's shit posting on. The other one is the r/atheism subreddit.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Well, yeah,
That's good.
Doom's always making like snide little remarks about how like, oh, this planet's not worth saving, and the government isn't good and shit like that.
Dude, him and we talked about him and Neil Breen would be fucking fantastic together, man. He would
Yeah,
have
he's
a-
like
he
hacking.
would help him
I have
take down
finished
the
hacking
government.
into these government
I will
secrets.
take down the government. Yes, but yeah, it's more. I hate to say it, but he's more like Victor Van Dutch. That's a
Ooh.
yeah. That was a good burn. I thought. Yeah.
And yeah, then they recruit Johnny Storm for literally no reason.
Well, because he got in a pod race sequence. And then they recruited him.
Pretty much.
It's working.
I mean, yeah,
His car even failed to start for 5 seconds.
their justification. Yeah, like
That
some
means
engineer
he's
he
smart
is,
and
right?
quirky.
Yeah.
Their justification is, I guess, that yeah, he can.
Build cars.
Fucking car good.
Yeah.
He apparently built that car from like with his bare hands.
Forge the metal.
Like,
Okay,
and
but it's
did he
everything.
like build a car from the ground up, or is it just like, oh, he tricked it out?
In a game with a box of squares.
Johnny Storm built this.
So they recruit
I
Johnny
met
for
Johnny
no
Storm.
particular reason. And then from there, we get a whole 20-minute montage of them just like doing science shit.
Oh my god, that science montage.
Just lab things.
Oh
It's
my
like 20
God.
minutes of them just like working on the science project.
For you.
Sponsored by Getty
for
Images.
you.
It's visual technobabble at its worst.
Yeah, it really is.
They got like server racks of like N64s on them.
Oh my god,
did.
that's the
That
other.
was
Oh
in-
man, that did happen. Yeah.
I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that was in Reed's
Yes.
garage.
That was
in the
like, yeah,
beginning.
when they were
He's
little
got, like, a
kids.
server.
Apparently, the Japanese have been supplying the U.S. for decades with Nintendo Entertainment Systems.
Thousands of
Yes, you can create interdimensional travel
With
a
Banjo-Kazooie
Mario.
cards.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Do you think they all had the Rumble Pack in them?
They definitely had the RAM expansion
I hope so.
and Majora's Mask cards.
Hell yeah. And yeah, so they make the teleporter, and then you know the people that are overseeing the project are like, all right, now somebody from NASA is gonna be the first person to go to the other dimension, and they all get drunk and they're like, what's up, Jason?
No, first they say, fuck it, throw a monkey in there. Let's
Oh, yeah,
see
they
what
said
can
a monkey.
happen.
Yeah, they throw
first.
the
Let's just
CGI
violate
chimp
all
in
the shit
there.
we've done for centuries. Fuck it, throw a monkey in there. Anyways, but you're right, it works, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
call
so-
it
Mention
NASA.
them, that monkey or another monkey ever again.
Yeah.
It's like that Mark Wahlberg
that
Planet
origin
of the
story.
Apes thing. It's the exact same subplot.
Yeah, that was Caesar. Same universe.
So
No, it's Pericles in the Mark Wahlberg one. The chimp's name is Pericles.
Shut up.
so they get drunk and they're like, that's bullshit, man. We put in all the work. We should be the first ones to go to the other dimension.
Get drunk, meaning that these 3 grown men split like a tiny flask, and they
Alright.
get hammered.
Yes, they do.
They get hammered enough to suit up for intergalactic travel.
Yeah, Doom has just been
Yes.
like, you know, like a dick to everyone working on the project, but now he's like buddies with them and wants them to come with him. And yeah, so
some peepsters in my pocket, bro. You want to get fucked up, man?
I'm very confused by the whole thing, to be honest. So Johnny, Reed, and Victor decide that they're gonna go. And you know, keep in mind, all of them plus Sue have been the ones working on this project. Ben has been back at home jacking off in his room, I guess. He hasn't been involved in this in any way. But for some reason, Reed's like, I need to invite Ben. And so he calls Ben at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, he drunk dials his ex.
Oh, yeah, that's what he called it.
This is a bromance since day one. I know. I'll try to keep my foot off it, but no, Ben and Reed it's been a bromance since day one. He checked them out, and yeah, he got drunk and he's like, I want to share this moment with my bae.
Yeah, he
Yo,
sent him,
Ben,
he
you
sent him a
up?
selfie.
Yeah,
And
he
text
did.
him.
He did send him a selfie, drunk ass selfie. and
Ben
everything.
wakes up and there's just like a Snapchat with 60 chins. He's like, "You up?"
and guess what? Does he get up?
He gets the
Do we
fuck
all
up.
get
dude.
up when it comes to a booty call? We all
He
get up for the
hauls
booty
his
drives 2
ass
call.
from
hours to New
Jersey over to New York. And then, yeah, and what confuses me about that is, I don't know, Reed's explanation, he's like, you've been in this with me since the beginning, man. I'm not going without you. And I'm like, no, dude, you left him behind already in the movie, and Sue has been the one helping
He's
you out.
working at a fucking auto shop.
Yeah,
Yep.
like Sue's been the one helping you out. Why are you taking Ben and not Sue? That makes no sense to me.
Friendship.
Oh, over puss.
Bros before
Yes.
hoes.
Yes, so.
Right.
Okay,
Those
respect.
fans here.
Respect.
Meanwhile, while that's happening, Victor is taking an axe bath to get ready for their trip.
He's like, hang on 1 second. He sprays himself down with Axe, sends 3 unsolicited dick pics. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Smokes a
Right.
clove too. Smokes a clove cigarette
I got
before they
that
hop
blue-
in there.
I got that blue Kraken guard mist or whatever the fuck they call it.
It smells like cat piss.
Oh my god.
He's got that and like a discount vape that pops in his mouth, and he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the Baxter building if Victor was in there because you could just smell him coming.
Oh, again, and just to preface, all this is going on. Fucking Dr. Storm, no fucks given, nowhere to get. Oh yeah, just leave the kids in there. What's the worst that could fucking happen? Again, terrible parenting. Like it's all about
Yeah.
being a family and shit. How about this? Don't be a shitty father. He is a terrible fucking dad in this whole movie, and this is another one of those
director
examples.
of a lab, and you're allowing minors to hang around there at 3 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, I will say, I don't think the problem is necessarily with him as a parent. I think it's more the whole government agency that's in charge of this whole thing. Because yeah, there seems to be no sort of security measures in place. Because yeah, the whole teleporter pad that they have spent at least months and many monies developing is just completely unguarded.
Dude, you could rent a guard. You could rent a security guard, dude, for like a couple bucks.
Yeah,
Maybe.
they could have had Ben do it.
Yeah,
That would've been good.
Right,
And you know what? That would have actually like incorporated the idea that like Ben's always watching Reed's back.
Yeah.
You know, like he's the muscle, and like he's like
We'll stop here because we'll put this in the reboot. Don't keep giving away.
fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Wasn't that their whole dynamic in the first place, though? I didn't read much of the comics or the cartoon, but wasn't he just kind of around as like the handyman kind of? Like he wasn't like 2 hours away.
I mean, all we see of
That's
it.
why
in
he
this
turns
movie,
into a rock monster with like the least interesting powers.
all we see of it in this movie is just him failing to bring a model car, which seems to be his only job for the science experiment.
And it doomed his life.
And he supplies the
Doctor
power
doomed his
converter.
life.
Damn, dude. I don't know
Damn,
what it
Doom.
is, but you got it.
All right, so the 4 of them, Reed, Johnny, Victor, and Ben, hop in the teleporter and go to the other dimension. And of course, shit goes south, and the planet starts like spewing goo, and Victor.
And it
gets-
looks like shit.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It looks like a
the
cross
green
between
screen is
Ghosts of Mars
horrendous.
and the green area from Dark Souls 2.
It looks really fucking bad. There's just like there's no depth to it at all. The environment it
Definitely
looks-
feels like they're walking in front of a picture the whole time.
Oh yeah, it looks really bad.
It was pretty rough.
Nothing about it feels real.
Oh man, rear screen projection would have been a fucking revelation. This is all green screen, my friend.
Right?
So yeah, of course, the ground starts vomiting green goo, and Victor seemingly dies when the stuff like he falls into a pit of it. They leave him behind, and here's where they get their powers, and the movie like kind of tries to make sense of it. Do you guys catch this? It's very subtle. I'm
It's
sure.
a blink and you miss it kind of
Alright,
dumb
so-
thing.
So no, they're like in the pods waiting for the teleporter to start so they can get out of there, and the glass door for or like the window for Johnny's part of the teleporter breaks, and then like flames just fly into it, and that's like supposed to be his justification. I don't know why there are flames only on his side. Same thing happens with Ben, but just rocks fly into his window, and I guess he just gets fused with rocks.
Because he's just touching rocks.
As for
Stoned.
why Reed can stretch, it's like
No.
He reached for several things.
yeah, like I guess he was just like, no, help me.
He reached for the door. He was trying to crawl up out from under like rubble, and he was like stretchy.
Well, there's.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
know.
Yeah.
and then Sue,
I don't even know why I'm trying.
Sue just is back on Earth. Keep in mind, and she just like
Right.
when the teleporter comes back, she gets hit with some sort of
5G, dog. She gets hit with 5G.
yeah, and she
Right.
just has the
Invisible.
Rona from that point. No, she gets her powers, and
Gets hit by like the force field from
just
the
makes-
pod teleporting back in, and that
it's-
makes her invisible.
yeah. It makes like they try to
Right.
make 2 of the 4 make sense, and the others I'm just like what.
It's quite the stretch, if you will.
Ah, there it is. Well, I was thinking, well, there's a thing that says they kind of teach you this with like combat training and stuff, but when you go through like an adrenaline rush, skydiving, biking, just whatever, when your body goes through all that adrenaline, your heart rate goes up, you sometimes get a hard dick. Like they call that a combat stiffy, and maybe that's what happened. Reed Richards was just fucking, his heart rate was going so much he popped wood, but he stretched out. Maybe that's when it could happen. That's my theory.
He T-posed so he could come.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't notice he was raised up a little bit.
All of his parts were extended.
He has like a kickstand out there.
I don't know. That's all I got. Sorry.
Tripod.
Yeah, that's maybe that's what kept the door open. Maybe his dick stopped the door so he could reach out for Ben and shit. We don't know these things because we could have had 2 hours plus of this.
Right.
Maybe this would have made it.
Could have had expanded lore.
Maybe we could do that. Hashtag trash cut.
Hashtag trash
Frank.
cut.
Trank. Damn it. I keep calling him Trask, which is ironic because
The X-Men.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought you were calling him trash.
That's what I heard.
Josh Trash.
Oh.
All right, so they get their powers, and then this is like, it feels like this is the only scene that made it from Trank's Cronenberg-esque vision of the movie. Like there's like a sequence of them just like realizing that they have powers and being horrified at it. It's come and gone. And then Reed is the only one that escapes.
1 year later. By
And
the
then
way.
one year later, he seems to be the only one that wants to escape.
He can stretch.
That he can.
Stretch the time, stretch the movie, however you want to look at it.
That's right. Stretch the event.
Yeah, he ditches his friends and just like goes and lives
What
in
the
like
fuck?
Mexico.
I know.
Wait,
what
so
makes him just leave and then just be like,
I don't know.
Did he
Yeah.
just
I'll
like
come
run
back
out of
when
the
I'm feeling
building or
better.
what?
Yeah, like clearly, I mean, surely like the people you were working with would have the resources better than you would on your own to cure this and fix people. Like, why would you go and do it on your own?
Because Area 57 is just not good enough.
Government, man.
No Area 58.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Maybe that's what he went to look for. Maybe he went.
Just back to that again. Was it a year before he escaped or after?
What do you mean?
When Reed Richards left? Like I said, a year later.
Oh yeah, he escapes and then it's 1 year later.
Okay.
Is it? No.
And then he's
I,
hanging out for a year.
I thought
No,
they all.
yeah, we see him after again in Mexico after the 1 year later cut.
Right, I gotcha.
All right. Yeah. Anyways.
So he's been off the map and nobody can find him except Sue. And this is where they reincorporate her pattern recognition thing when she listens to music.
I saw your gamer tag online.
Pretty much, man. Like, okay, so like nobody can find Reed because Reed is the smartest person on the planet, right? And they're like, Sue, we need you to help find him. And I don't know why they didn't ask her sooner. Sooner.
Oh, he's trying.
Boo.
I can see the cogs turning up.
No, it's good.
I don't know why they didn't ask her sooner. But she analyzes some logs, I guess.
Yes,
and
he
she
does.
finds that he's like essentially forwarding his emails to he has like a proxy email that is short for Captain Nemo, which is a
God.
book that he was talking to her about earlier
During
in the
that whole
movie.
creepy scene when he wouldn't get the vibe and pissed the
Yeah.
fuck away. No, let me tell you about a book. This might play. Didn't I say that? I remember watching the movie. I'm like, this is called a plot device. When he
And
held
she
up
was
the
like-
fucking book.
Yeah.
Look,
I read it.
Look, man,
Didn't
if
even
you were
know.
trying to get off the grid, change your fucking PSN name. Don't use the same shit
Right.
that you did
Yeah.
back in college.
Yeah, like
Moby
he.
Dick
Like a
sucks.
chump.
It's a really lame excuse for how they found him. And then
Smart.
Oh, it's
and then
Nemo
he-
with a 3, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah, he was lead
and a
speed.
0, I think.
That
so
was.
we
Speaking.
and it's really awful when we catch up with Reed. I think he's in Mexico hiding out, I think. But we just see some like random dude buying something in a store, and then like he leaves in his car, and then his face just like starts doing a CGI morph back into Miles Teller's face.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Reed's stretchy abilities give him shape-shifting powers.
Game of Thrones did it
Never
better.
seen that.
Essentially.
Never saw him
How does that make
shapeshift.
any sense?
I've never seen that in the comics
like,
or anything.
you
I've
don't
seen
have-
like
you don't
proportion
have-
of body size, but yeah, like that.
Well, like, even if you can stretch out your limbs, that doesn't change the muscles in your face that would allow you to make your face into a different face.
They just
Or
make him into a.
structure.
They just
Yeah,
make him a
like,
'Cause that's
T1000.
DNA related, and he doesn't have like. Is that his whole thing? He can, because you can't control. If you can control your DNA, you're pretty much almost controlling your state of matter. He can't do that. He can only stretch, be rubber and shit like that. I don't know. I just think it was.
And it looks awful.
I just think it was some dude that lived in California making his worst De Niro impression, and then boom, Reed Richards. God, I hated that scene.
No, he's doing like a T-1000 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of morphing.
Reference to a better movie.
Yeah, it's a way better movie.
I love Terminator 2.
Yeah, it came out 20 plus years ago. It still had better fucking CGI and everything.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
God.
That movie can drink. That
Yes.
movie can rent a car,
Yeah.
and it still looks better than this shit.
It really is astounding how awful this movie looks.
And that's scene 3, right? We're at scene 3 now, or act 3 or whatever.
We are like probably in the middle of
Yeah.
Act 2. But that's the thing is that like Act 3 of this movie is only like 10 minutes long.
Ugh.
Yeah, for such a short movie, this drags ass.
I mean, this movie, like, it builds and builds and builds, and then, like, nothing happens. It's just, like, they have one little kerfuffle with Doom, and then that's
Mhm.
it. The movie ends.
Like,
First act should not be over half of the movie.
someone said
It
Game
is.
of Thrones.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
It was
Stupid.
very much that ending.
Oh, man. It's awful. Yeah, so that's how she finds him. And then there's also, weirdly, in the middle of it, a scene where some, like, government dudes are, like, flying in a plane, and they look out the window, and they see Johnny Storm flying outside next to them, and he just blows up some random plane, and then they're like, wow, that's amazing. And what was
Not
that plane?
fantastic.
No,
They don't explain it. Like, he just blows up a random plane.
It was like
It was-
a
it
training
was
program.
training. It
They
was,
say it
yeah.
like a minute or two afterwards, but at first you're like, did he just fucking destroy like an aircraft? And then, oh, it's a training thing. Got it.
Well, yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
a
surely
little.
there's like a cheaper training
No,
program
well,
than a whole
that's the thing.
plane.
Yeah, he's right. Well, it was. John is like, it was a training program, but yeah, he's destroying UAVs, man. That's like a couple millions of dollars worth of government
ridiculous.
equipment. Well, there's where your money's going, y'all. Just saying, y'all letting superheroes destroy
just,
your shit.
Like use clay pigeons
Where's
or
my,
whatever.
Where's my Jameson impression? It's all that Spider-Man's fault.
It'd be pretty sad to see though. It's like a clay pigeon launcher. And he's just
Oh,
shooting at his-
and can I note, since we're talking about that, can I take the next segue? The fucking thing. Okay, first of all, like I said, my Fantastic Four knowledge is shallow, okay? But I've always, like, Ben Grimm, the thing, has always been identified as the blue collar, as the everyman of the Fantastic Four.
The ever loving.
Yes, he's gonna stop a bus to save a kid. Why the fuck do they have him in Afghanistan fucking murdering fucking terrorist cells? Kill count 43. I was like, what the fuck? When did he become fucking Logan, dude? He just started
And again,
fucking
keep in
Weapon
mind,
X.
he's working for the government and just like doing whatever they want him to do in exchange for the promise of a cure eventually, which of course is never going to happen. And he's just out like throwing shit and like blowing up tanks, fucking naked. He's not wearing any pants. That was
God
a
intended.
saying he was going.
that was rightfully a big part of contention for this movie before it came out. People were like, why is Ben not wearing pants? For the love of God, please give him some pants.
Yeah, he
They
should
didn't
have
even
a
give
big
him any-
rock dong.
They didn't even give him any signature jorts.
Well, yeah. Well, I can
Didn't
kind of
have
answer
Jinkos
this.
or anything.
He was doing a lot of like black ops missions and stuff for the government. You could say he was going commando.
Got it.
All right, so
Here all week.
I want to
here's
say,
what's up?
oh, I just wanted to say again, in the same way that, you know, everybody in the world, not to exaggerate here, everybody in the world wants a butthole cut of cats. I want a dong cut of Fantastic Four because I want to see the Thing hang dong. Like if you're gonna not have him wear pants, show me his fucking ding.
I want to see the
it's like
Thing's thing,
Renaissance
dude.
art.
Yeah, man. Like why
Also-
not?
So he looked like
Lean
a
into
Ken
it.
doll down there, right?
Yeah.
What if like he can like move the rocks out and then just like a rock cylinder comes out? Do you think the Thing's dick is like 3 or 4 rocks like kind of melded together, or do you think it's like one?
It looks like
piece?
Onyx and
consider that a-
Pokemon.
Thing used hardened. It's super effective. I mean, well, that's the thing. You gotta come up with a word because technically it's an erosion because the land's moving, but it's also an erection. So you gotta come up with something.
He's a grower, not a shower.
Would it be better if the rocks went aside and the only thing that weren't rocks was his dick and balls?
That would be.
Would that be weird?
He's
Oh,
just
that'd be
got like
super
a
weird.
little chode under there.
Hey man, it'd be a more interesting version of the film.
These are the important
You're right.
questions.
These are the important questions.
I'm probably having more fun talking about the Thing's dick than I did that entire hour 39.
Yeah.
That's right. Thing dick cut. Hashtag
Make it happen.
Thing's thing.
Right, B-rollers, let's start this shit on Twitter.
we gotta rally our 10 fans.
Start hashtag the dick Thing's dick cut and tag your grandparents in it.
Right. Dick cut.
Dick cut. Dick cut. Dick cut.
All right, so what happens next? They find Doom. So they find Reed in Mexico, I think.
Yep.
And they bring him back to
On
the
Instant
Area
Messenger.
57 where they're working to recreate the teleporter, right? Send some dudes, and they find Doom is still alive. Okay.
Oh shit.
And okay,
We found
so
out
I
they're
just thought of
NASA
something
employees.
else. I just thought of something else that I actually didn't catch during the movie. But basically they bring him back, and later on he's like, he just expresses a disdain for Earth and its people, and he's like, if I have to kill your world to save mine, then so be it.
Yeah, straight up go Sephiroth.
I don't know. I don't understand why he went back to Earth in the first place. Like, I mean, he seemed like he needed help, but I mean, they bring him back to Earth, and then he's
Yeah,
fine.
no, he's like, I knew you'd come help me. Oh, somebody save me. And then they said the government word. And he's like, oh, I have to murder all of you now.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And fuck Dr. Doom for being a bitch about NASA, dude. If I was like, hey, one of the top government agencies in fucking space engineering wants to help you, fuck that. If you're a scientist, you'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. He's like, no, NASA, fuck those creeps. Fucking CIA.
Or better yet, he
motherfuckers.
has a fucking whole country to do his bidding because he's a fucking monarch.
Yes,
Right?
that's true.
But yeah. So they find Doom, whose spacesuit that he was wearing has like melted to his skin, and it looks truly awful. I mean, say what you will about the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, but Doctor Doom at least looked decent. You know, like the way he was written and portrayed. Left something to be desired. But his costume at least looked decent.
Oh, yeah.
But this Doom, he looks like he's wearing like an aluminum foil.
Looks like a melted G.I. Joe.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
A melted Destro.
He looks really
Perfect.
bad. And then for his iconic green hood, they just gave him like a trash bag to wear over his head.
Dude, yeah, it's like
That
That
he
is the
burned-
hugest
Yeah, where
hood
did
I've
he get
ever
that on
burns
the
a
seen.
planet?
lab coat in the other dimension. He's like, I'm gonna take this before we leave.
Yeah,
so I
where
can
did he
fling
get
it
that?
over? And
Unless he materialized one with all his mysterious powers.
It was stone cloth.
Maybe.
Maybe. It makes as much sense as anything else he does.
Yeah, so they Doom decides for some reason that he can't allow the people to come back to his planet, and so he's gonna like destroy the Earth somehow. And he essentially microwaves one of the government dude's heads. Like he just like his head like just pops inside of his containment suit.
yeah,
This is the only part of the movie that I unironically
Like-
like.
Yeah.
He started. Well, it's so confusing
It
to
was.
me
You're
because
right. It was like Rogue One. It was that one.
he
good-
walks down the hall and he's just like, and people are just dying. Like they're just like their heads are just like splatting.
He's just
against the
pop. It's
wall.
like destroy all humans, dude.
like
It's
Terminator,
awesome.
Yeah.
it's questionable.
I love it.
That scene makes me want to see that body horror idea so much more.
Mhm.
It's just confusing to me because he is literally blowing up people's head just by like looking at them, and yet he can't seem to do that to the Fantastic Four later. Like he has to actually get
Yes.
into
He
fisticuffs with
doesn't.
them.
Yeah, he doesn't use his powers for like shit. He uses like a few because I knew he was like.
He
Didn't he
uses,
like have some sort of like psychic powers like in the
he
books?
seems to have telekinesis in this
Yeah.
movie, but that doesn't explain how he can like microwave people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They tried to have a reason for everybody how they gain their powers, but what happened to him was he fell off a cliff.
Hmm.
How does that translate to?
He
Well,
fell
he
I
off
fell-
think
fell
the
in the
idea
goo.
was
He
that
fell in
yeah,
the Jell-O.
the Jello like fused his suit to him because again, this is a very like blink and you miss it kind of thing, but part of his fall was that his helmet gets like fused to his face and you see it for like 2 seconds. He's got this like
I
metallic
thought it was
face
pretty cool
and then
for
he
a
like
second.
Wilhelm screams back down into the abyss.
You should
Just a
cut that
thumbs
bit
up
into
as he's
the
going down.
dude. Hans Gruber did it better.
I don't know why you cry.
Yeah, so it's really unclear what Doom's powers are. He's just kind of like doing shit as necessary, and then
Dooming
yeah,
shit.
and then he somehow creates like a black hole between his planet and Earth. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
and-
Because Doctor Doom digs on multiverses.
My guy.
Also, too, if he did
All
create a
hope
black
lies in
hole,
Doom.
wouldn't it have been over like instantaneously? Because that's the whole point of a black hole is
Yeah.
everything around it is instant nothingness. So I don't know.
Yeah, they say it's a black hole, but it definitely doesn't look like any black hole as we think of them.
Black hole in movie terms is countdown to the end of the
You're right, you're
conflict.
right.
It's essentially what is
It's the
cliche.
future stakes.
It's a cliche
That's
at
it.
this point in superhero movies. Is there's a big beam in the sky that means
Jesus,
something.
yeah,
bad.
Man
There's
of
always a big
Steel,
beam in the sky. You know,
Avengers.
like Avengers did it, Amazing Spider-Man did it. I
Yep.
think Suicide Squad did it.
Return of the
Yep.
King did it better.
There's always
Hell
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, shit like that.
It's just,
and then after that, there's really not too much to talk about.
and they each get like 5 seconds of their own fight, and that was
they
bullshit.
they
too.
try one at a time to fight Doom. Of course they fail, and then Reed gives a pep talk where he's like, Ben's like, oh, he's stronger than any of us, and then Reed's like, yeah, but he's not stronger than all of us. And then
It's like, no shit.
Oh, so bad.
and then
Because they had already teamed up at that point. It's like you don't need the pep speech in the middle of it.
on the right.
well, also,
yeah.
I mean, why didn't they try teaming up in the first place? Because they all came there together to fight him. Why did
Was
they
that
try
not a
fighting him
team-up?
one at a time?
Yeah, I'm trying not to rant, I promise. But the fact that Reed Richards, if he's like one of the most intellectual people in the known fucking universe, like MCU and shit, you clearly have a fucking understanding of vocab and you should do shit. The whole fucking end scenes of that, he's just yelling at Doom, enough, stop, not you, incoherent words. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Line.
God, yeah. Dude, I was screaming line half the time just because they did. It was all dramatic pose, stare, cut to other. Oh my God, it was a fucking Twilight movie.
Punch through a snare.
And then like,
Oh,
and then
God.
for as powerful as this Doom is portrayed to be, yeah, like earlier he was microwaving people's brains, but now like he has to like get into a fist fight with them. But then for as powerful as he was, they just essentially like the thing punches him into the black hole, and he seemingly
Yeah, they
dies.
just blew all their cooldowns and just.
Nice. Let's see what you
That's
did
like
there.
it, and then he's just dead.
Min Max,
and-
that's his problem.
Oh, and then
He didn't gear right.
really, it's really weird. After they defeat Doom, they go back to Earth, and they see that, like, you know, on Earth, the other side of the black hole thing, like, left a giant crater in a city where, like, definitely somebody died, and the music's all triumphant, and they're like,
we
did
saved the
it."
city.
Yeah, they're like, we did it, and like somebody fucking died there. Like,
Minimal casualties, only 1,000 lost. We did
Yeah.
good. Government was fine with that. They're like, we lose cities all the time. They're usually not ours.
and then comes
The White House was saved.
Then comes the best line of the movie.
Mm.
So they are a team now. They make some negotiations with the government, and they're like, we want a facility for ourselves.
We want a lot of land.
And so they get a building, and they're like, hey, we're a team, right? We should have a name. And they kick around some stupid jokey names.
Oh, there's 4 of us.
And then Ben looks at the facility and he says, it's fantastic. And then Reed looks at him and says, wait, say that again?
No.
And he goes, said it's fantastic. And then Reed goes, I got it. And then the credits start.
Stop.
And I booed. I booed in my theater.
Yeah, that was bad.
You were the only one
one
in
in.
there.
That's true. That's true. I was.
Man,
No.
y'all just date. Y'all are
No, I think there might have been one other person. But yeah, I booed.
You
and I
want to
was
slam
very
dicks?
displeased.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and we all booed tonight when we watched it.
That was,
and that's it.
Yeah,
I
then
mean,
you left the credits on and walked away.
that's true. I'm not sitting through that.
Fucking war
You could've
criminal.
paused it, turned off something. You just walked away.
And then that's the whole movie, man. The whole story of Fantastic Four, or Fant Four Stick, as the poster calls it, can be summed up as they get their powers, they fight Doom. That's it.
Yeah, and the conflict and resolution of the movie is in the last 15 minutes.
It's super weird. Like it blows its loads, like, and it's over just like that. It's the weirdest fucking
first
thing.
time for most of us, but yeah, it's pretty,
Or
pretty
every time.
allegorical right there.
Every time. If you have weak seed.
It was just bad. Like, it was.
was definitely not fantastic.
They spent way too much time. That's the thing. Like, at the end, Ben and fucking Reed weren't kissing. I was disappointed by that.
Honestly,
Like, for real, they should have. There should have been more. Like, at least the thing almost should have died, or
On
like
a
he got
single
like,
anal
he
scene
should have
and it
gotten
was
shanked
bullshit.
by Doom or something. Just something life threatening to make Reed finally realize that's his brother, and he'd like. Anyways,
Could have been shipped.
but that's in the Trank cut, yeah. Release the trank
Trank
cut.
Frank cut.
Snyder got it. Let's get the trank cut out, man.
Or the thing cut.
The thing.
Things cut.
The thing cut.
The thing.
Like I said, Tiger grandparents.
Like it's
they'll love
seriously, it's up there with like Daredevil and Catwoman. I would totally put it up there with that, and I mean it. Like
it's worse.
Daredevil and like Catwoman, they get their shtick and they run with it. Like we were talking about that, like Batman versus, or what was it, Batman and Robin, like the Schumacher movies. Like he knew he was putting it in that cheese direction, so it was kind. It's just like you're expecting it, but like this, man, they're trying so hard to go gritty. Perfect example. That movie just fucking came out. Why the fuck are you going to try to just go complete opposite
He's pointing
direction?
to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
poster.
I am. And like, so I don't know why they're trying to copy, because that's when DC was trying to go that route with like Man of Steel and shit like that, and they, it just blows my fucking mind.
I don't know. I don't see, like, it shouldn't be this hard to make a good Fantastic Four movie.
It
you know?
really isn't.
Like
They were like the beginning, weren't they? Weren't they one of the? Weren't
they
they?
are Marvel's first family.
That's what I was wondering. Like, they came before
They
X-Men,
were
right?
they were the first.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they weren't the very first. Like, Namor came before that, and a different Human Torch. But like, they were like the first ongoing Marvel superhero. company.
Yeah. They've been around since day one,
And
much.
it really shouldn't be this hard to make a good Fantastic Four movie. You know,
Third times wasn't a charm, but maybe the
this is the
fourth
Well, this
one?
is the fourth actually.
This is the fourth movie.
In the 90s,
yeah.
also
they didn't.
just to retain the film rights, they made a Fantastic Four movie that was never officially released.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's probably better than this.
Well, if it's unreleased, that means they could still make a fourth one. That would be fantastic.
Well, I mean, of course, it is on the
If
internet.
it
You
is
can
the
watch
fourth
it,
one,
but-
yeah, technically.
Don't ruin this, Harlan.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, you bring up a good point, though. That's the thing, you know. Now that we're ruled by the mouse, where do we go from here? You know, the motherfucker owns all of us, including Fox, including Fantastic Four, right? Like they got Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
All right.
You know, the only thing they're bartering right now with is Spider-Man. He's the one that's still getting freaking, bless his heart,
all
fucking
hope
spit
lies
roasted.
in Feige. Here's the thing, right?
Mhm.
Is like, Doom is my fucking guy. I love Doctor Doom.
Why
He's-
not
he's-
make him the
he's,
next
like,
villain?
One of my favorite comic
that's been my
characters.
thing. I want him for the next villain.
He deserves better, and yeah, he could totally be like a Thanos level
Yep.
bad guy.
Yep.
You know, but these movies seem to think that he's the only Fantastic Four villain, because even in when there was a sequel to the 2005 movie, Doom ended up just being the villain again.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can do other people, like
Mhm.
fucking Diablo or Wizard or fucking, I don't know, do something. Mole Man.
Joker.
You two are the only two that's ever heard of anybody else besides Doctor Doom. So.
Yeah,
Apparently.
Galactus. That was the thing. They could have done something with Galactus, and they did the whole fucking parallax shit with that. The whole like Lost, it's a smoke monster fucking thing.
Yeah.
Boom, dropping bombs.
I don't know. Movie bad.
Movie bad.
Not
Not
fantastic.
good out of 10.
Yes.
How many bad fours would you give it? Fantastic fucks.
I'd give it like a 2 out of 10.
Just for irony's sake, I'd love to give it a 4. But no.
This
We're
was
gonna-
so
we're gonna-
incoherent
Maybe a 4 out
and
of
messy.
100.
I'd give it a 2.
2 is fair.
Yeah, I'd say
And the only reason it goes up to a 2 from a 1 is that Doom scene.
Yeah,
Where
that
he just, like,
that
slaughters,
Doom
like,
scene
5
fucks.
people.
There's like
Yeah.
30 seconds that bring this from a 1 star to 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Otherwise,
2
it
as
would be
well.
a 1.
I'm gonna say 2 as well. What about you, Jason?
Fucking, I don't care. But I'll say 2. I'll jump on that bandwagon.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
right.
definitely say
Thanks
yeah.
for succumbing to peer pressure.
Yeah, we try.
Speaking of the 10 rating,
You crack with us.
what is the one redeemable good thing you can say about it?
Oh,
Yeah, you
Jesus.
have to-
we
you have
have
to
to.
give-
Okay.
And
You
it
have to
can't
give
be a
us a
backhanded
good-
compliment.
You have to give a
Yeah.
genuine compliment.
You
It
can't be like,
backhanded.
oh, is
good-
in focus. It can't be something
A
like
good
that.
thing, a good thing. I really can't find a good thing on this movie. It would have to be that Doom scene. Hold on. It would have to be that Doom scene. I would say out of all of them, I think Michael B. Jordan did the best. I think he was the best. I don't know. He at least tried to flesh it out. I think he was putting at least his best effort in, minus the other one. So I'd say, other than Doom, I'll give it to Torch for trying. That's it. Y'all are asking too much of me from there. I can't do anything else.
That's actually the good thing I had written down was the Doom scene.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys were
Same.
all into that scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I
I'll
kind of
say-
loved it.
That 30 seconds was dope. I would have watched that for an
I
hour
wasn't
and a
into
half.
that. I wasn't into that.
I
Just because I
loved
was
it.
too focused on like what are his powers. That was confusing me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it even looked good. I will say that I thought the scene when they first get back to Earth, and they initially get their powers, and
Yeah.
and like that's when Trank is really going for that body horror stuff, and like Reed's crawling across the floor, and he looks back and sees that his legs are stretched out, and he looks over and he sees what he thinks is Johnny Storm dead,
Melted. That was cool.
burning.
That looks pretty good.
I thought that was
I did like that scene.
It could have been a better scene, but I liked what he was going for there. And I thought it was probably the most effective scene in the movie.
It was. I would agree. Yeah. Your turn.
I really, honestly, the only part I liked was that Doom scene. I thought that
Yeah.
it was really cool.
But the transformation, yeah, I totally see what you're talking about. That was cool. That fucked with me for a second.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I guess the other thing was, and it's not developed on enough, but the transformation horror aspect for all of them, I thought was pretty cool. I was like, this is kind of gnarly for a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
For
Again,
2
is, like,
seconds. And
it's not inherently wrong to do a body horror angle on Fantastic Four, because like the very nature of their powers, like that is kind of creepy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. I did like something separate from either of those.
Oh my god, tell.
Dr. Doom's man cave setup. That was sick.
All right.
That's what you
You're
want.
right, you're right.
You know, it like, oh, this is past 2007. Fuck. Like, in 2000, where they were all kids, like,
was
he's
very-
totally running Crisis on that rig.
Here's that shit on ultra wide.
Yes.
2007.
He's playing 4K before anyone else. He modded this for 4K.
He made 4K.
I believe that Doom invented that.
Yeah.
Before that, there was only 3K.
There were no Ks, and he took all the Ks.
I guess stupid question for you, since you're the trivia master and since you've seen this glorious movie twice,
Harlan.
since you had a chance again to watch it, they didn't plug in any Easter eggs or anything at all, did they? They gave no idea that something else is going on. There's
You mean as far as like
no
world building?
no world building, no nods to the X-Men or to the Avengers or to Spider-Man or anything.
Well, I mean, this was when it was still owned by Fox, so yeah, they couldn't do that. I think originally there were rumors that this movie was gonna be set in the same universe as the X-Men.
That's what I was wondering, because they are both in New York. Like, they are both not too far
Yeah.
from each other and everything.
But I mean, who fucking cares?
Oh, yeah,
honestly?
for sure. I don't.
Wes, do you have something nice to say about this movie?
I did. Is the Doom scene.
Oh, same
That's the one I
thing.
wrote. That's the one I wrote down.
Okay, cool. Yeah, should we get into trivia then?
Trivia hour.
I don't have too much since we went over so much in the beginning. Okay, so the film was so negatively received that it apparently caused Marvel Comics to cancel their Fantastic Four titles and end the franchise. This
Wow.
around 2015.
That did not happen.
It did.
Oh.
Well, I mean, nobody knows for sure that that's the reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, after 2015, there were no Fantastic Four books until the most recent run started, I think, in 2019.
Yeah. So I haven't, like I said, I hadn't read a middle, but I remember seeing them in Civil
it was
War,
right.
Secret Invasion. I remember there was a few. That's when I remember they're involved. It's like pretty much the only time I saw the Fantastic Four is when Marvel was doing like world-ending events series and shit like that. That's the only time I'd fucking see
Yeah,
them.
like the characters still popped up here or there, but for the most part, well, actually, no, it was really just a Human Torch and the Thing. They popped up here and now or there in other people's books. But yeah, like they ended up coming up with like an in-universe reason for it that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, they pretty much just pulled Fantastic Four, and they ended up doing the same thing with X-Men.
Yeah.
They tried to like present the Inhumans as a replacement for the X-Men. They were really pushing Inhumans around 2015. But yeah, they were just nowhere to be found on Marvel's line of books at the time, which sucks because again, Fantastic Four deserves better. I mean, they fucking started this superhero trend.
Yeah,
for Marvel,
they were
you know?
definitely one of the, they were part of
They
the
deserve
golden
better.
age. Yeah.
And you can do good Fantastic Four stories. You know, I mean, just fucking copy a book.
Well,
good.
that's the thing there, and I think that's probably what made the other ones a little bit better because they actually tried to touch on what's his face, Grimm's like human side.
Well, you know, I mean, say what you will about like the 2005 movie, it's at least like kind of dumb fun. You know, like
It's campier.
yeah, exactly. It's a campy movie. It's at least fun, and like I think it's about the same length as this movie, but it feels a hell of a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Like I watched that movie like a week or two ago, and it's miles better than this.
Why?
Miles Teller better than this.
Haha.
Why
Why did I watch it?
Why'd you watch it a week ago?
I was doing homework for this.
Nice. That was good.
So you had to watch the other movies first?
I was curious anyway. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
I just enjoyed the rubber thing suit. Most of all.
Oh yeah, that it was a practical thing. Let's see. Kate Mara initially wanted to read Fantastic Four comic books to prepare for her role as Sue Storm, but the filmmakers explained to the cast that it was unnecessary as the film was an original story not based directly on the comics.
So don't be Sue Storm,
What?
the strong, independent, smart-ass woman who's saved them many times. Don't
like,
base yourself
I
off
don't understand
of her,
what harm
okay?
it could do to have her read the books that her character's based off of.
That's fucking hysterical. That's amazing.
Yeah. That'll give you a better idea. This is a pretty good one. Tommy Wiseau wanted to direct the sequel before it was canceled.
Yes.
That's
What the
Yeah.
fuck? Why
amazing.
not?
Why, you straight up, you held that to the last minute on us, man.
I got a few
You
more.
really, that
I
was
want to see the
good.
Tommy Wiseau cut.
That was so
Tommy,
much better.
Tommy.
Oh my god, what if Tommy played Doom?
He could. He's fit. He's in good shape and everything. He's
I'll spare you my terrible
He
Tommy
works
Wiseau
good in the
impression.
mask.
Just
19 years
imagine him
old?
saying, I am Doom, you know?
I am Doom.
that was good.
Are you guys ready for a great B-roll boys callback right here?
Let's go.
So Toby Kebbell plays Doom in this movie, but apparently our beloved friend Eddie Redmayne was considered for the role.
Oh. Justin would have creamed his jinkos over that.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? He'd be like, if I have to destroy your world to save mine.
You realize that's the only one he does that in. He got a fucking Oscar that year.
I would have loved it if he did in this movie.
It's incredible. Oh, fantastic. Sorry.
Tommy Wiseau could get him. He's got that power.
Got that
Just
clout.
to think what could have been.
Could have been perfect. If it had more Thing Dick and Tommy Wiseau, this movie's perfect.
That's right.
So close.
Would have jumped from a 2 to 11 for me.
Oh, and what's, I guess the last complaint I'm going to have, sorry, this just popped in my head, but fucking, what's the word? Hold on. It's when you're being a douchebag about it. You're being like, oh, like, they purposely try to make it, they tried to talk so much science to make you feel like you should know what you're listening to. If not, you're an idiot for listening to it. Very like punching down, like, if you don't know what we're talking about as well. And even then, I'm trying to piece what they're putting together. I'm like, that's not how any of this fucking works. Anyways, that was it. I
Condescending,
don't know.
talks down.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah. This is my last one. Jeremy Slater's original version of the screenplay included the villains Mole Man, Doctor Doom, and Galactus. And I just wanted to note that one because it's weird how at an hour and 40 minutes, like, nothing happens in this movie, and yet they wanted it to be super bloated with 3 villains.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
Then
Spider-Man 3.
You
it
have
can
the
work.
opposite problem then.
Yeah, it's just it's like they like, you know, like when you're sliding in your car on ice, like you're supposed to steer into the skid. They like tried to correct it, you know.
Yeah, that was rough.
But yeah, that's about all I got for Fantastic Four, 2015. God awful film.
Good news for
I truly feel bad for everyone involved in this movie.
Ugh. Well, the good thing is, if you are a Marvel fan, you don't have to feel obligated to see it because they don't mention Stan once, and you don't see him at all in this movie. So there you go,
Yeah, I'm
saved y'all
glad
the
that
trouble.
he
He has an
wasn't-
executive producer credit, but that's it.
Yeah.
Totally non-canon. Oh, and it's in memoriam of someone, right?
Oh, I did look up that in the 2-minute homework I did. They did, and no, you know, I'm glad he got recognition, but the guy's name was George Little. They dedicated it to him. I'm like, what? He's done movies. He's done costume work for a lot of great movies. Look it up. Y'all can do your homework. But I just feel bad, you know, to where you spend your whole life in Hollywood and then you do one more for a paycheck and it's
Go out with Fan
that's-
Four
you know what I'm
Stick.
saying?
That's a swan song.
So anybody at home,
Oh, man.
pour it around for George.
Fuck.
I mean, like, nobody got out of this movie in a good spot, you know? Obviously, you know, like, some of them went on to do good things. I'm sure they still will. But this movie, like, left its mark and just put a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah, go see Black Panther. Go see Whiplash. What else? What are the other ones that they got out?
Yeah. You guys got anything else for Fant Four Stick?
Nope.
I'll do this.
Cool. Well, Westicle, what are we watching next?
Well, Harlan, what we're going to do this time, instead of taking a trek back to the 90s, we're going to go back to the 80s, my friends.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
There was an 80s?
There was an 80s.
I wasn't alive for it, so it doesn't
There was 10
exist.
of them.
I was there for I was there for half of it, dog.
80s.
Dude, I was there for half of it. It was awesome. Don't
Sounds
sleep
like
on the
a good time.
Ghostbusters, man. They were my shit.
But we're going to watch your Hunter from the Future.
I am Hunter from the future.
Your
My,
Y-O-R.
Y-O-R, Harlan, keep up.
I am.
Grow up.
Your,
I am Hunter. Okay, gotcha.
a man named Yor is a hunter from the future.
What?
Wait, so you're apostrophe Hunter from the future?
Yes, that's
Oh,
exactly it.
shit.
Someone gets it.
Oh man,
Harlan, you're out.
I think I was. I don't think I
Jason,
caught
you're
this
in.
one.
I
Yeah.
am no longer a B-roll boy.
B-roll
okay, so,
groupie.
I guess before we go, we should probably start plugging our social media. By the way, listeners, we have social media. Find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at B-roll boys. Please, we're lonely.
I've tried it. Some of them you have to put B-roll boys, so that's nice
Yeah,
and
it's
inconvenient.
B-roll boys.
So go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
We're also available on Pornhub. Look it up.
Dude, awesome. We're trying to catch up with y'all. I do. We do.
We got our Zanga going pretty good though.
Fucking awesome.
Join our Minecraft server.
Yeah.
Lots of good things.
Well,
lonely.
I'll plug the idea to Pornhub.
Check out LiveJournal
Yeah.
and Dig.
WordPress.
Yes. MySpace.
Fucking
It's the
AOL.
last clean social
Right.
site.
Jason,
The
thank
first
you
one.
for
Alright, thanks
joining
again
us.
for having
You
me.
are an honorary boy as of
Thank you,
tonight.
Jason.
I'll toast you back for this.
You are now one of the boys.
I'll bring more booze next time. This was
We're gonna need it.
yeah, it was a sobering experience.
All right. Well, we'll
More
see you
than
guys
just
next week.
more than a little mini flask.
More
full
than a
of
flask
PBR.
between Doom Richards and
Yeah.
Storm drunk.
All right. We'll see you guys next week for
Next
You
week.
Are Hunter from the Future.
It's your.
Bye.
You're trash, bro.
I need a second, okay? Why can't anybody give me a goddamn second?
Hold on. You dig on multiverses?
That's it. What, we some kind of
B-roll boys.